guess I'll have to take the draw. I've waited to go and to make this post-game reaction just to really go and sort of really think back and sit back. And because my initial view on this initially was like, okay, a draw is not the worst event. It's not the worst, result you can go and have, all things considered. I'm obviously disappointed and would have wanted us to go and win, but it's not the worst thing initially. And I still definitely feel that way. I still definitely do think that, it could have been a lot worse today, and that a draw, all things considered, is not a terrible result here today. But I think now I do have a lot more to kick ourselves about. I thought PSG definitely did enough to go and win today. We were definitely the better team today, but also we just also didn't do enough to go and win either. So going over here and looking at PSG 0, Athletic Club 0, a very... I think in fairness, let me go and say this. I think Atletico Club played really well. I thought they, especially in that first half, pressed PSG very, very well. If I go and look at the first half alone, I would presume that, in fact, in fairness, possession was pretty even throughout both halves. But the game was a lot more even in the first half. They didn't really let us do much with it. Of course, we had most of the ball, but I thought they were pressing us very well overall. But that, despite all that, in the end here, you're going to look PSG 2.05 XG, 18 shots, 5 shots on target, 5 big chances created, 5 big chances missed, and the most important thing, 0 goals scored. I think ultimately that's the biggest thing. I think PSG created enough chances to go and win. I don't think we created enough chances. And I think 𝙀𝙀𝙖𝙞𝘾𝙄𝘼𝙎 also had a really good game. I've heard people going, really quickly going and looking at, red cards and potential penalties. I don't know. I didn't feel like there was anything egregious in terms of the refereeing in this game. I thought perhaps that one thing I would say, though, is like just going and looking at strictly the number of fouls, the fact that PSG only committed 4 fouls and we got a yellow, whereas they committed 21 fouls and got none. So for us, we had Warren Zaire get a foul, whereas they only got a foul, and a yellow card rather, was Berenguer and Guizar, as well as Unai Gomez, but much later on. I think there's potentially a thing to go and have looked at for the injury on Marquinhos, potentially for a red card offense, and the fact that he didn't even get a yellow on that, I think is very, very concerning. The fact that especially Marquinhos wasn't able to continue the game after the second half, I thought it was a bit curious. But generally speaking, I don't think there was any egregious refereeing decisions. I thought that there was not an egregious penalty missed or anything, at least that I felt on initial first viewing. And just PSG today didn't do what they need to do to go on to win the game. But yeah, again, as I said previously, looking at, I think I have to go and look at this table within the context. I think of all the games that PSG have dropped points today, this year, I'd say that this is definitely the one which I'm least worried about. For one, based on the performance, again, I don't want to go use that as something to go and diminish it. I'm still definitely not proud of the performance by any means necessary, but Champions League, you're in already a pretty decent position. Getting a draw away to Bilbao, granted, they've not been great in the Champions League and not really been great in the league overall, but it's not the worst result you can go and get, right? The one good thing and the one hallmark is that I guess it means that you haven't assured your qualification through to the next stage. PSG, I think they said in the top 8 specifically, you need 16 points. I'm pretty sure PSG have all but guaranteed themselves at least qualification in the top 25. And unless things go seriously awry in the next 2 games, PSG should qualify in the top 8. The one thing that you can go and say is, a bit annoying is the fact that PSG will not be able to, make it in and qualify in the top 2. It's going to be really difficult unless, Bayern, they go and they muck it up. They drop points, which, I'm not sure. Just want to quickly go and see who is Bayern's next game. They got Union Saint-Gilloise, and they have in their final game, they've got PSV Eindhoven. So realistically speaking, it's going to be difficult to go and catch Bayern up. So most likely the highest that PSG is going to be able to finish is in the top 3, which just means that, in terms of home advantage throughout the Champions League won't be in our favor. But I don't think that's the end all be all. But for me, the biggest thing would be if we won today, they'd put us on 15 points along with Bayern, and basically all but guarantees us qualification through the next stage. But again, on the flip side, it also means that, PSG with the draw now, we're still in 3rd position, not that bad. We just go down 1 position, and we still very much have our destiny in our own hands. If we win both our games, we'll be going through, unless City go and stat pad in their next game, which, looking at it now, probably very much can do so. But so long as PSG do their thing, beat Sporting, go on and beat Newcastle at home, we should be fine. That's probably the one concern that I've got. But I think we should be able to do it, especially going and seeing that, Newcastle, especially in the Champions League, not been in crazy form. I know that Sporting have been in slightly better form, although they did lose to Bayern Munich. I think PSG should be able to go and do what is necessary. The one thing I did want to talk about specifically more so about this game is individual performances. And that, I don't know, I felt that PSG today, we looked okay. Like, the team didn't perform bad. I thought Safonov again for us today was probably our best player, had some really good saves. Didn't really need to do much with the ball at his feet, but definitely was just reassuring, especially I feel like when claiming for crosses. I feel like we're just much more certain with him. He's more commanding in his box, I would go and say. And I think it's fair to go and say that thus far, he's been definitely playing better than 𝙀𝙀𝙬𝘾𝘼𝙎𝙀. The back line overall, I thought Nuno Mendes had a quieter game by his standards, but was still, good, did his bit, didn't really suffer defensively, had no issues, but you didn't really see him going forwards. But you could explain that away to the fact that, he's coming back from injury, but still, we have high standards for Nuno. We would expect better from him. Pacho, typical Pacho performance, nothing really, wouldn't suffer really anything defensively. I think we only had conceded one shot on target, if I'm not mistaken. If I go and look, only a single shot on target. No big chances created by them. So defensively, I thought we were really, really rock solid. Marquinhos, 6.7, but again, came out at halftime, so couldn't really go engage how much he went and played. Ďaryh-Emery, I thought today was arguably one of our best players on the pitch. Locked up Nico Williams, didn't do anything, had a really good performance himself. Got forward. I think he really is starting to grow into his own in this right back position and is very much so a very good substitute for Achraf Hakimi. And I think just based on what he's been able to do, the fact that he's been able to go and do this week in, week out in the Champions League goes and shows that, he's a very good and suitable replacement to play right back in the absence of an Achraf Hakimi. I thought the midfield today, fine, didn't do anything crazy. I thought Fabian was good, but, missed a couple of chances, was a bit slow, made a couple bad passes. Vitinha, quieter game by his perspective, but still, again, this is like a Vitinha 7 out of 10 performance. Still was good today. Didn't do anything crazy, but still had a general good performance today. João Neves didn't seem nearly as much. Didn't seem win nearly as many balls. I thought just overall today that we suffered a lot more from the really, really aggressive press from Bilbao. Mayulu had the two chances that, again, going and looking at here, XG on this one, 0.33. XG on this one, 0.37. I think the first one, don't want to be too harsh on, just because I felt the first one, just getting the shot off was already pretty impressive. The second one, though, where it's sort of, he digs it into the ground and it goes, again, both of the opportunities were great saves by 𝙀𝙀𝙖𝙞𝑆, but I thought that he realistically probably should have done better, specifically on the second opportunity. But it's not all that. But I think for me, the biggest thing is this man right here, Bradley Barcola, who the thing is that his overall game today was very good. He was dynamic. He was, causing problems running in behind, had opportunities. The thing is that, again, the one chance he has, he's going one-on-one with the keeper. Again, he decides to go and take the shot on, which there's no issues. He can do so, but it's sort of one of like, if you decide to go and be selfish, you have to score. You absolutely have to score. And the fact is, he could have easily squared it for Kvara, but decided to go play it solo, smacks it off the bar. And if you go and put that in, we're in a much better position. We're 2 points ahead, 15 points, level with Bayern, probably ahead of Bayern because of our goal difference. And we're probably looking at and saying, we guaranteed ourselves a top 8 spot. So, especially with Barcola now, like, again, his performance today was actually pretty decent. I actually liked the way he looked, but the overall, it's just tough because now you can't argue. He's been given a lot of games to go and play. Doué, Dembele have been gone. So he's getting a lot of game time. He's been able to play on his preferred left side, played on the right side, played through the middle at times. He's played everywhere. There's no excuses now. And yes, granted, he's played a lot of games. I think played like over 70 games in a single season last year and has really not really had the opportunity to really rest. But still, you have to take your opportunities. Doué's coming back now. Dembele is going to be fit soon. And at that point, you can't then go and argue and say that, oh, I'm not getting game time, because you were given game time. You just did not take it. The fact is that currently our top scorer on our team is, if I'm not mistaken, João Neves. And it's taking the opportunities. I think that today, though, the good thing that you always go and say is that at least he's creating himself opportunities. It's not an issue where he's nonchalant, doing the nonchalant gimmick, not even doing anything. Today, you did definitely see him. And I would go and say that definitely, out of all of our attackers, he was definitely the most lively out of all of them. But still, that opportunity specifically, you cannot be missing that. So at such a crucial time in the game, you've got to be burying that. But the next person I want to talk about is 𝙀𝙀𝘿𝘾𝘼𝙎𝑎, who again today, most foul player today, he's just not doing enough himself either. Like I feel like he picks his games a bit too much. Again, he got 2 his goals against Rennes this weekend, but I feel like he picks and chooses his games. And at least last year, like he just sort of did a similar thing where he was much better in the Champions League than in the league. But at least there in the Champions League, he was basically always a guaranteed, like rock solid mainstay guy. He's always going to deliver for you then. The issue is now you're not seeing that, and you're also not seeing it in the league. So I feel like, especially as a fan base in PSG, we've been very critical, I feel, on 𝙀𝙀𝘿𝘾, and rightfully so. He's not been at the level we would expect a player of his caliber and his stature to be at. But I feel like 𝙀𝙀𝘋𝑼𝑎 has gotten a lot of, we've been pretty lax with him. And I think we need to start going and pressing him on that because, yeah, and I don't really go and take these FOTMob ratings all that seriously, but still, even despite 𝙀𝙀𝘿𝑾 missing that chance, he still had a higher rating. And I feel like he just contributed much more in a much more material manner than any other player. 2 shots was he had a single one. Again, I guess you could forgive him in saying that if, 𝙀𝙀𝘿𝑾 squares that, that's a goal. But again, I just feel like he needs to be doing much more in these types of games. In games where there's no 𝙀𝙀, no Dembélé, he needs to be that man that goes and takes the leadership role, is the main guy, the main focal guy for PSG, and he's just not really done that. 𝙀𝙀 came on later on in the 62nd minute. In fairness, didn't really do much, couldn't really do much. Can't be really too hard on him. He's coming back from injury. This is his first start back. I'm happy to go and see that he's come back earlier than expected. I think the rumors initially were that he's only at best going to be able to make an appearance at the end of the month, but it's nice to see that he's back, playing, able to go and get 30 minutes in today. But again, wasn't able to do much. I think in games like this is where you really begin to go and see how important somebody like a Dembélé is, in that he offers you something different. He's able to drop back deeper. He's able to attract defenders towards him, beat 1, 2, 3 pull at a time, which creates an overload on one side of the pitch, which means somebody else is free. He's also got very good vision. I think it's probably an aspect of the game that people criminally underrate, seen by, for example, the assist that he got for Gonçalo Ramos over the weekend and other key passes that he was going and making. And I just feel like, I'm almost just waiting, let's just end the season. Let's go play the Intercontinental Club World Cup. Let's make sure to go and, win our upcoming Ligue 1 games. Let's hopefully, going into the break, be top of Ligue 1, be in a good position in the Champions League. Third, it's not bad. Win the Trophée des Champions, and then sort of go on and move on from there. Is sort of it. So I'm really just looking forward to the break for PSG. Let us go fully rest, get all our players to get 2 weeks off, come back, be fit, be ready to go and take on the next stage. So yeah, again, sort of to recap everything that I've said, I'm not pleased with the performance, but I could go and say, I'll take 1 point. It's not the worst thing. If PSG, hopefully, fingers crossed, go and win the next 2 games, I'd go and say, if you told me before, PSG, with the run of fixtures that we had, go and win all their games, bar 2, draw 1 and lose 1, and lose to Bayern Munich, one of the best teams in the world, and lose away to Bilbao, I'd go and say, that's not bad. But yeah, that's about it. That's all. Thank you guys all for tuning into the post-game video. Sorry for it being a bit later. The live went a bit longer than expected, but thank you, as always, to everybody that was on the live. It's always a pleasure having everybody there, whether you're on TikTok, YouTube. I would highly recommend that you guys go, especially specifically on YouTube or on TikTok, go and make sure to follow me, put on notifications so that you guys know when I go live. Because especially on TikTok, I've now been able to go and bring on people on, and I'm going to be thinking of doing similar things on Discord as well. So if you guys do want the opportunity to be able to come in and join the live stream, make sure to be tuned in and have your notifications on. But guys, with that, it's been a pleasure as always. And remember, stay safe, stay kind, and stay blessed. Godspeed.